What does it take to study, work, and travel at the same time? Hey, what's up, guys? Aman here. One of the things that fascinates me a lot is world travel. And what a better way to do it if you can do it while you are studying and working. But there are a lot of questions that need to be answered: how to do it, what is the visa process, what kind of courses you should get in. So I just had a conversation with my very friend Ishansh, whom I met in Egypt during one of my internship, and he has transformed his life from being a normal college grad in India to being an expat studying in Europe and then becoming a data science engineer in one of the top leading automobile companies in the world. So we'll hear him out firsthand and know from him what does it takes to become a digital nomad and have this kind of lifestyle.
How did you first realize that okay, this is the kind of life you want to live in? And how did you form personal relations around, because it's really hard to have a comfortable life and then decide start traveling.
It just started with curiosity and maybe a bit of frustration also, because even back in India I didn't travel a lot, and I just googled that hey, I want to go abroad, I want to travel but also like do a bit of work. So that's where ISEC popped in to the Google feed, and I just found it really interesting. Within 3 months I found myself in Egypt on an internship where I met you, and that was definitely a life-changing moment for me, if not life-influencing. But yeah, like I met some people, they enlightened me about the process, about how you can study in Germany, and the word free education really intrigued me a lot.
Kind of. So now let's dive into the second part, that now you have decided that you want to go, you want to be in a foreign nation, right? How did you decided, first of all, which country to be in? What would be the way? Because probably you can also go as an employee, right? You can now remote job option is very much available, so you can apply to a company that is based in Germany or outside India, and then you can start remote working, and then they can offer you a work permit or something like that. Or the second one that you opted for was to have education visa out there and study there while traveling. The good part of being Europe is you get a Schengen visa, and then you can travel all around different states, Schengen state. There are, I think, 27 states.
Yeah.
So how did you make that decision? Of course, that would have been conflicting for you as well, already spending a lot of money on bachelors. So was that idea always in your mind, or you were like, okay, whatever works out, the best motive is to just get out no matter what the means is? So how did you arrive at this kind of conclusion?
I met this few Indians in a bar where they were telling me more about the life in Germany, how things work, study is free, education is free, and you get to travel so easily. The packages are great, and the work-life balance is absolutely amazing. So that got me thinking, because even then I was wanting to go to US, but then I just did the maths. I had a word with my friends from US and Europe, who I met while traveling itself, that what makes sense, and then just took this decision that okay, I want to go to Germany, and then just researched, found a few helpful YouTube channels on how to come to Germany for studying. And then yeah, like I was sure that okay, this is something that I want to do. And then the next year, in 2018, I just came to Europe for the purpose of networking, plain and simple, because I was like, okay, now I'm sure that I want to come to Germany. And I think it's always a good idea that okay, you might end up your entire life spending into that country. It's always a good idea that maybe you spend some months prior to that to be sure that okay, is it something that you are sure that you want to do? And that definitely helped. Just connecting with people, I found this internship where I was working as a research assistant for one of the universities in Poland as a data scientist.
And probably you need some acquaintances over here. How do you make these acquaintances for somebody who doesn't has any connection at all?
Yes, so there are different student organizations, youth organizations. One of them is ISEC. I myself has been a member of ISEC, so I think that's one of the easiest way you can go. They take care of everything. Like you are, it's a really good feeling because you are under the scrutiny of the organization, but you also have a lot of freedom. It's one of the best ways where you can just travel, but also have that work experience with you, but also make a difference in the world, because the intention is that you go teach or you go study with the intention to make a difference. So I was on a normal tourist visa, and like I said, that when you go through an organization or you have this research assistant things, it's always very easy. So you don't get paid for that because of the visa. Like there are restrictions that you won't get paid, but you can work voluntarily, and that's how things work.
Awesome. So I mean, if that part is clear, then you can easily get a get into a university or a college or a company that is based in Europe, and then you can just experience that. That's the easy way of doing it. But if you are planning to do something that now you're sure that you want to become an expat, now you want to become a student, you definitely need a permanent visa, like an education visa, which is much easier than getting a work visa. Basically, you are competing with then everybody in Europe. So tell me more about like how did you started your process? When actually, how much time, minimum time do you need? What are the semester timings? So based on that, what are the good months to start planning it? How should one proceed to selecting a college and then selecting a degree? Which is a right semester to do it? How much expenses do you need? And any other logistics that you currently have?
The good thing about studying in Germany, or I'll generalize it to Europe, is that you can start late. So for example, for US, you need to start like crazy, like around a year. Here, for example, if my college starts in September, I can even start in June sometimes, which is quite amazing. Like you just need to have your IELTS exam done or TOEFL to just prove your English proficiency, and that's it. In 99% of the universities, you don't need a GRE. There are still few universities that do require that, but yeah, most of them they don't require that. So you can start pretty late. But the good time is always, of course, like you can start around January or February. Most deadlines they start around I'll say around March or March to May, and then they go up to around July 15th. So that's always a good time, and I'll suggest to start as soon as possible you can within this time frame. How you can do that is there, especially for Germany, there is this website DAAD, which is the sole website that you need to know if you want to study and work in Germany. You just go there, you apply all the filters that, hey, I want to study only English based curriculum or German, whatever you want to do. This much money it will show that if it's free education or there is some semester fees involved. And then you choose a particular course, which semester you want to come, winter or spring. So the winter, it starts around this time, September, and the spring around April. So for April, if you want to start, you can start now. But the thing is that I'll suggest to go for the winter one, because in most universities, this is where more courses are offered, and it's always aligns with the job search thing perfectly well when you end up your studies. So I suggest to go for that. So yeah, you go to their website, you apply all the filters, and then yeah, it's a very straightforward process. After that, in Germany, I suggest not to use any kind of agency if you want to study. Like I said, it's very straightforward. If you know how to read, you can do that, and if you have genuine interest. So there is this UniAssist, which is a German government-based agency. So you pay them a requisite fees of around 75 euros to upload your documents, and they verify your things that, hey, your CGPA thing is good, like it's leveled into the German level. So in Germany, you get grading out of 4 or 5, where less being more, as in like 1 is the best grade. So they convert your Indian grade into the German scale so that they can compare, and then they just do these kind of formalities, and then you can just directly apply for different universities. Yeah, so interesting thing in Germany, it's a very special situation right now going in Germany, is that earlier, for example, if I'm on a student visa, my whole purpose is to just study, and I can do a work student thing. So here it's called a work student, where you can work for 20 hours a week, and you'll get paid really good money for that, and it take care of everything. If you want to do an internship, that also you can do. It's for 40 hours, and you get paid almost similar to what you get paid as a work student. So these things you are allowed, and it's also like in a particular year you can just work for either 240 half days or 120 full days. So more than that you are not allowed to work. Now, why I mentioned that it's a special situation right now in Germany is because Germany is lacking highly skilled workers. They're in need of highly skilled workers. So there was a new rule that I was reading last month that the German government announced that while you're a student, you can actually work full time also. So that's absolutely amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So it solves a lot of problem. And the best thing is that if you're studying a particular thing, to implement it right away in industry, it does like wonders.
Nothing can be better than that, of course. Yeah. Got it. So somebody like me who is already having a job, and I'm more the visa is just a vehicle for me to enter Europe. For a person like me, what kind of course should I choose, and how much time do I have to dedicate it? Would it be full time, or if there are hybrid courses as well, or there are online as well? Because one thing confuses me is that I want an online structure, but then I would be demotivated and I would be discouraged to get an education visa, because the visa authority can say, if it's online, why do you need to go there? But the main point of visa was to have a part-time education while having a visa vehicle that can help me. Can you help identify a little bit on that?
Yes, so it actually depends a lot on the university, I'll say, because some universities are heavily research focused. For that, it makes sense to be in class every time. Like there are a lot of lab modules which are like it's a prerequisite to be present in the university to attend those classes, and it can get really tough to even pass those courses. So, like I said, it depends on the universities. Some universities are, I'll say, easier in a way that their course is very, very structured according to the practical things. Like if someone is very practical oriented, if he wants to work on a lot of tools, which is the need of the hour in industry, then he can go for those kind of universities. And the good thing is that the public universities are okay, really, really good, but even the private ones are exceptional, I'll say. So they have their own standards. Yes, they have the fees, but you can always apply for scholarships. And if you have a really good profile, even finding a scholarship in a private university is not hard. So I come from a private university and I got admitted into a public university, but I still preferred that university because when I got a scholarship, and I really liked the course because it was aligned with my vision of data science, and I really liked the course a lot. So like I said, that it depends on the university.
So how can one balance between these three things? What are some of the challenges you personally faced, and how did you plan this? How did you overcome it? And somebody like me who is just doing one right now, which is just working all the time and a little bit of travel, but how can somebody like me switch my life into more kind of these three diversities?
Yeah, good question. And the thing is, the good news is that Germany allows you to do that. So even you might be you work like crazy hours and all, still you can find time for fun for sure, because the education system and the work culture here allows you to that. So example that you are working, you have a full-time job, and you are also working you are also studying at the same time. The burden from the university, I'll say, it won't be that crazy. I think we as Indians are used to that burden for sure. And then you can find time in your weekends. Even on the weekdays, you can have fun. You have your vacation times, like spring vacation, you have winter vacations, and you can literally take holiday at any time. Especially when you're working here, you get a lot of holidays, like around 2 or 3 a month, or you can just make it like a month you can take off. The even better thing when you are studying here is that if at any time you feel overwhelmed, you can just take a semester Urlaub. So Urlaub is just German for holiday break. You can just take that break, and nothing will happen. Like you will just have to pay very minimum, like 50 euros for the entire semester, and then just continue doing your internship or just your work. Like it's very normal. And for us Indians, it might be sometimes very weird that, hey, we are taking a semester break, is it fine or not? It's totally fine, and people do it quite often, and I even encourage them to do that so that they can focus on their job and just earn money, have that sense of freedom, and also to gain the professional experience. So you will have opportunities for sure.
Now, one last query that I have: how long this visa remains, and how often do you have to renew it, and then what kind of proofs do you have to supply while the time of renewal?
So starting from India, you just directly have to go to VFS. So it's a very easy process. They give you a list of documents. Maybe so you can imagine like a month or two, you'll get your visa. So the visa initially, it's not of 2 years. It's always of 3 months initially. Then you go to your particular city in Germany where your university is there, and then you do the registration there. You show your address proof. You show them the funds, and then you will get the extension of 2 years. So that is the general process. So generally the process is you'll get the 3 months visa, then you come into the country. Yes, it's like you don't have some universities actually do require that you already show address proof, and I'll suggest to always show that address proof because more likely your visa will be approved. And it's like, imagine like you come into a new country for the first time and you don't have a place to stay, so it can be really uncomfortable. So I won't.
Amazing. Thanks a lot, Ishansh. Thanks for listening us, and we'll see you next time.